Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan and today's video is going to be one of the most requested videos on my channel. And ever since I put up that community post about asking you guys like what are the MAC lipsticks you want me to dupe, I did get a lot of suggestions for that. But after that I got a lot of comments asking like when is this video coming up, so I could finally sit down and film this video, because getting those MAC lipsticks is one thing, but finding the dupe for that is another thing. So it was a whole other task, and most of these I could figure out the dupes for this about like 2 to 3 months ago, and some I just wanted to order a little bit more MAC lipsticks according to your suggestions. So I have tried to pick up as many MAC lipsticks as I can. You guys have to understand that I can't buy everything that was left in that comment section, because these are expensive. And another thing is I don't want to buy a shade that I would never use because it's waste of money. And yeah, I sat down, I swatched most of this side by side on my hand, on my lips, and found out the most nearing shades. Some are 100% match and some are like here and there a little bit different. There will be a slight difference. I have also mentioned the match percentage, like if they match 100%, 98%, 97% and everything, so that you guys will know like how similar those shades are. And I swatched all of these lipsticks on my lips with a minimum makeup on my face. Like I can't even call that much, because I just have a little bit of the Huda Beauty foundation underneath my eyes and around my mouth, because when the lipstick gets onto it, it's a lot easier to wipe. But other than that, I didn't use like a full face of makeup because you can see it true to color. So yeah, let's get to the video. So the first MAC lipstick I'm going to be swatching is the MAC satin lipstick in the shade Mocha. This was one requested shade and this is how it looks like on my lips. I have two alternatives for the same thing. The first one is the Swiss Beauty non-transfer lipstick in the shade Mehr. This is how both the lipsticks look like side by side. The Swiss Beauty one, it does have slight more brown hints to it, but because the finish is a little bit different, if there is any kind of difference in shade, it is because of that, because of the finish. The MAC one is more of a satin finish, whereas the Swiss Beauty one is more like a comfortable matte finish. Again, I wouldn't say this is a bang on dupe, but it is pretty close, and that's the reason I picked this one up. Sometimes it's really hard to find like the exact shade, so I have to do with what I have. Next one that I have that is quite similar to MAC Mocha is from Mars. This is their lipstick in the shade 22 Everyday Nude. I feel like this shade is very similar to Mocha, but just a little bit brighter, like a little bit. So that's the reason you can see a little bit of a difference, but they are of a very similar color family. And also because this is again sort of like a matte finish, it's more pigmented and appears to be a little bit more deeper than Mocha itself, because Mocha is a satin finish and it's not the most pigmented lipstick, but it's quite comfortable. But the Mars one is very, very long wearing, and it has turned out to be one of my favorite lipstick formula. The next shade that I have is MAC Diva. This is one of my favorite shades. It is sort of like a burgundy shade. And the shade that is similar to this shade Diva is from L'Oreal. This is in the shade Pure Garnet. It is one of my favorite red shades and it just looks very nice. I feel like the MAC Diva in the mini variant is not as pigmented as the full size of it is. So just keep that in mind. So if you are someone who wants to buy the affordable alternative, you can try that instead of Diva in the mini variant itself. Another affordable alternative to MAC Diva is from Mars Cosmetics. This is in the shade Girls Night. You guys know this is one of my favorite shades. It's very, very long wearing, and you can see that on the lips it's even more pigmented than MAC itself. So it's a nice matte formula, but a very, very long lasting formula. So instead of getting MAC Diva or even the mini variant of the MAC Diva, you can actually try out these lipsticks because they just are super affordable and perform very well on the lips. Also, please ignore the swatches at this moment. I'm a little bit hungry and my hands are like not giving me the precision I want. The MAC lipstick has transferred and the Mars, nothing, no transfer at all. The next shade I have is MAC Sin, and this is how it looks like on my lips. Has a little bit of brown, little bit of red and berry hints to it. The alternative to this is Maybelline Burgundy Blush. This is how both the lipsticks look like side by side. I feel like because the Maybelline one is more of a creamy matte finish, you have to layer it up a little bit to get it to the pigmentation of MAC Sin, but the shades are very, very similar. The next shade I'm going to be swatching is MAC Taupe. Similar color family and quite close is from Nykaa. This is in the shade Caramel Margarita. Taupe has a little bit more of a taupe undertone, but Caramel Margarita is a little bit more warmer and I feel like slightly more pigmented than taupe itself on my lips particularly. It's not 100% match, but pretty close. The next shade that we have is Paramount from MAC. It's a beautiful shade. And the shade that is on point is from Nykaa. This is their So Creme lipstick in the shade Deja Nude. The minute I saw Paramount, I knew that Nykaa Deja Nude would be very similar to it. Like in the hand swatches, there might be a little bit of a tone shift, and even maybe on the lips you can spot it, but they are very similar. I mean, this is how close you can get to some lipsticks, because MAC has this thing of making some lipsticks very different, unique, and so if you have to get close, you get quite close, but you just don't be the other lipstick. The next shade that we have is from MAC. This one is in the shade Whirl. A lot of people really love this shade. It is a matte lipstick. This is what Whirl looks like on my lips. And the shade that is also pretty famous, this is Maybelline Nude Nuance, one of my favorite lipstick shades to wear on a daily basis without makeup. Somehow, call me crazy, but I do like Maybelline, the way it looks on my lips, a little bit better than Whirl itself. Whirl has a little more brown hints to it, but Nude Nuance has a little bit more of a pink. I mean, both of these do have a kind of grey undertone to it, but Whirl is a little bit more brown and Nude Nuance is a little bit more pink. So that makes it a lot more wearable for me on a daily basis without makeup. But if you are of a deeper skin tone than I am, this will wash you out. Both the shades will wash you out. And then another shade again that is a 98% match and very similar to Maybelline Nude Nuance, but lacks a little bit more pigmentation than that, is Nykaa Irish Coffee. Again, like I mentioned, Whirl has a little bit more brown to it, whereas Irish Coffee has a little bit more pink, but on the lips you can't really make out. So the next shade we have is MAC Rimmel, which is a satin finish, and the shade that is quite similar to that is from Nykaa. It's from their So Creme lipstick. This is in the shade It's a Date. Next one is in the shade Verve. It's a satin lipstick. And the shade that is very similar to that is from Wet n Wild. This one is their Mega Last lipstick in the shade Mocha Licious. They look 99% similar. Maybe Mocha Licious is just a little bit more pink than Verve. Verve has a little bit more brown, but very beautiful on lips. And another shade that I found that was quite similar to Verve is from Rimmel. This is their Lasting Finish lipstick in the shade 48 Dark Nude. The formula of the finish of all these lipsticks look very similar on the lips. Next up, I have the MAC lipstick in the shade Brick Ola. This is a amplified lipstick finish. The shade that I found that was like a 95%, or you can even call it a 96% match, is the Wet n Wild Mega Last lipstick in the shade Spiked with Rum. The reason it might even look a little bit different is because the finish of both of these are a little bit different, so it wouldn't look the same on the lips. The MAC one is an amplified finish and the Wet n Wild one is more like a creamy matte satin finish lipstick. Next shade we have is MAC Velvet Teddy, and the dupe for this I found from the internet, of course. I didn't know and I was searching for it for the longest time. This, a lot of people say it's very similar worldwide. The Wet n Wild Mega Last lipstick in the shade Bear It All. So this is how they look swatched side by side. I feel like the Wet n Wild one is a little bit more muted than the MAC one itself. Like it's a little bit more pale looking, but they are very, very close. Next up, I'm going to be swatching MAC Rubywoo. And the shade that a lot of you guys asked me to try out for this particular lipstick is Sugar Scarlet O'Hara. So the brand was very kind enough to send this to me. Like if you swatch it on your hand side by side, the undertones and everything looks different, but on the lips they're very similar except for the finish. The MAC Rubywoo is a retro matte finish and the Sugar one is a matte finish, like a very comfortable matte finish. And then another shade which is like less than 200 rupees, really affordable. This one is from Blue Heaven. This is their powder matte lipstick in the shade Ruby Glow. So affordable. The formula is also like the retro matte formula. It is a little bit like stiff to apply on the lips, but the shade is so similar. Next one we have is the MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in the shade Burning Love. And a shade that is very similar to that is from Faces. It is one of my favorite formula. This is the Faces 12 Cat lipstick in the shade Splendid Iris. Just look at how they look on the lips. Very beautiful. The next shade that I have is MAC Soar, and this is a matte formula. I tried to find a dupe for this for the longest time, so I actually sat down and literally swatched so many shades, and finally I was like, okay, let me just give this one a try. And I swatched this one. This was the Faces Jewel Cut lipstick in the shade Raging Mauve. It is a little bit deeper and a little bit more purple than Soar itself, but this is the closest that I could get to the MAC lipstick in the shade Soar. And then the next shade that I'm going to be swatching was by popular demand. A lot of you guys wanted to know a shade similar to MAC Marrakesh, and let me first swatch Marrakesh. This one is the Maybelline City Brick collection. This one is in the shade Madison Red. What the shade looks like, I would say that Marrakesh is a little bit more brown to it, a little bit deeper, but the Maybelline shade is pretty similar as well. Very beautiful shades, both of these, and this is how they look side by side. Next up we have the MAC lipstick in the shade D for Danger, which is a matte formula. I have it in the mini variant. This is how both the lipsticks look side by side. They are very, very similar in terms of the finish, the way they look on the lips and everything. So if you always wanted to pick up D for Danger, you have a very affordable option. Another one that is quite similar in terms of shade but completely different finishes, but I just want to give you a reference, is Nykaa Ultra Matte in the shade Cleopatra. You guys can see this is more pigmented than the MAC lipstick itself. So if you wanted a matte finish in the same shade, color family, then you can pick up the Nykaa one. Next one I'm going to be swatching is the MAC lipstick in the shade Relentlessly Red, and a shade that is quite similar, and in fact better formula itself is from Swiss Beauty. This is in the shade Loud Pink. I do not like the formula of the Relentlessly Red lipstick particularly because it's a little bit neon and can be a little bit patchy and drying on the lips. But the Swiss Beauty one is a lot more comfortable, a lot more pigmented and less patchy on the lips. This is almost like a 99% match, I would say. It's a very difficult lipstick to dupe, but yeah. Next up, I'm going to be swatching MAC Flat Out Fabulous. A dupe for MAC Flat Out Fabulous that everyone knows is Sugar Mary Poppins. They are 100% match, and you can definitely get Mary Poppins if you wanted like an identical shade to MAC. Another shade that is very similar to Flat Out Fabulous is from L'Oreal. This is in the shade Glamour Fuchsia. They are very, very similar and like 100% match. And of course the packaging of the L'Oreal lipstick has changed right now, but you can still get the shade. Next up we have a shade that is a little bit hard to dupe. This is MAC Captive. It does look quite common, but I couldn't find any shade like this in my collection. So the closest one that I found was from Sugar. This one is the Matte as Hell lip crayon in the shade Miss Rosa. This is what they look like on the lips, and I really prefer the Sugar lip crayon formula a lot better than the MAC one. It's a little bit more pigmented and has good color payoff even if you have pigmented lips. So if you always wanted to try out MAC Captive but you have like really pigmented lips or deeper skin tone, then try out Miss Rosa. It would show up a little bit better on your lips. Next shade again is very popular, MAC Mehr. And the shade that I found that was very similar to this is from Maybelline. This one is in the shade Touch of Spice. This is a shade that is said to be a dupe for MAC Twig, but I kind of disagree. The undertones have a little bit of a purple to it. So MAC Mehr has a little bit of purple to it. So Touch of Spice is the one that is very similar to that. And another shade that I found online, like this is not something that I discovered, but it was mentioned online, is Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade In the Flesh. But I don't think it's similar at all. Like they are completely different in terms of the shade, the way they look on the lips and everything. So In the Flesh is not a dupe for MAC Mehr if that is what you're looking for. That's the reason I wanted to swatch it side by side and show it to you guys. Next one I am going to be swatching MAC Twig. And what I did is I did swatch the Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade In the Flesh to show you guys a comparison between Twig and that. So this is how it looks. Next up I'm going to be swatching MAC lipstick in the shade Retro. This is a satin finish lipstick. And the shade that I found that was really similar to this is from Nykaa's the So Cream lipstick in the shade Break a Leg. This is what they look like side by side. And then another one that is on point and a superb match is from Faces Canada. This is their weightless matte lipstick in the shade Subtle Mauve. It makes me so happy to find like these closest match when I sit and swatch, and I'm so happy, you guys, that I found this one. Next one is MAC Girl About Town. And the shade that is quite similar to that is from Maybelline. This one is in the shade Mesmerizing Magenta. Next up we have MAC All Fired Up. This is not as unique of a shade as I thought it was, because I found quite a few similar shades. Let me go about it one by one. So the first one is the Bella Washed Lip Crayon in the shade number 03. This one is a little bit of a stiffer formula, just keep that in mind. Another shade is Faces Dash of Pink Lip Crayon. Faces one is a little bit more brighter than All Fired Up, but again, just a little bit difference here and there. So also the price point has a huge difference. Another shade that is again from Sugar. This is in the shade Poppy Adams. You can see on the lips, like you can't even make out much of a difference. That's how identical they are. Next one is MAC Russian Red. This is a red shade with a little bit of like a brownish hint to it. And the closest I could get was from Sugar. This is in the shade Claire Red Field. The Sugar one doesn't have as much like brown hints to it. Once you let it rest on your lips for a bit, you can't really make out that stark of a difference, can you? I would call this to be like a 95% match, just because it doesn't have that brown hints to it. I wouldn't say like, okay, they are 100% similar. Like if you want a Russian Red, just go pick this up. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. If there is a difference, I am going to be telling you guys that. But on the lips, you can't really make out that much. Like if I were to wear both of this and come near you, you will not make out a difference immediately. Maybe if you like look really close for a while, you can. Another shade, this one is from Rimmel. This is their Lasting Finish lipstick in the shade 111. I'm not sure if you can find this on Nykaa, but this formula is one of my favorite formulas of lipstick. It's very long wearing, very comfortable, and this shade is very similar again. Another lipstick shade that is MAC Crosswires, which I have already duped in another video, is from Maybelline in the shade Enjoy the View. So I am inserting a lip swatch from my previous video itself, because I don't have that particular lipstick with me right now. And also another MAC lipstick that is MAC Chatterbox. The closest dupe that I could find is from Essence. This is their lip liner in the shade Cute Pink. You guys can see how similar they look. I don't really like the shade on myself. So the last one I don't really have a dupe for. So this is the Powder Kiss lipstick in the shade Devoted to Chili. So because I got this and I don't really have a dupe for this, I just thought I'd leave you guys with a swatch, because why not? And I actually spent my money on this, so I wanted to just show it to you guys as a swatch. It was really hard for me to find a dupe for this, so if you guys know a dupe, let us know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Like I mentioned, some of these are like a bang on dupe, 100% match, and some of this, they are pretty close. They are similar color family, and that is how close I could get to some of these, because the shades like Soar and Captive, they're really hard to find, and also to find a dupe for that, because I need to literally go into a store otherwise to sit and swatch all of these, and at this time I'm not very comfortable doing that. So from the collection of lipsticks that I have, I try to find similar shades, and I have not included any liquid lipstick in this dupes video, because I wanted to keep the formulas and the product similar. So if it is a lipstick, I wanted it to be a lipstick itself. So that's the reason you don't find any liquid lipstick in this video, like as a shade comparison. So yeah, I will link everything in the description box below as much as I can, like everything that I can find. And also I hope you guys appreciate my effort that is gone behind this video, and if you did, give this video a big thumbs up, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, all the makeup enthusiasts who are looking for dupes, who are looking for similar shades. I think this would be of a great help for me as well as you guys. And also, if you have any other dupe suggestions for the shades that I have mentioned in today's video, leave them in the comment section down below as well. A lot of people read through comments, and it will be of great help. And let me know what other brand of lipsticks you want me to dupe in the comments as well. So while you're at the comment section and you're scrolling down, give this video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also, when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.